Hello and welcome back to my channel. In the previous episode we started mixing our track Silence is Just Another Frequency. We started with the kick, the bass and the step, and now we are going to continue mixing the drums and the rest of the instruments. So until now we have the low mids and a little bit of high. We need to work on the lows, and we have not had an instrument yet where there is a lot of highs. So let's do the drums, and with the hi-hats you will see the difference here in the highs also. Okay, so let's do our closed hi-hat. You see already here the highs. Okay, again we're gonna start with our closed hi-hat with EQ IQ. I see there is no peak, so I won't use this for the hi-hat, so I can delete it. And the first thing I will do is to use a saturation and a bit crusher to make the hi-hats a little bit more crunchy. So again, my mix knob, and here I will use some heavy saturation. It's the closed hi-hat, so I'm not going to saturate too much. I'm going to put more crunchy on the open hi-hats, but for the closed hi-hats we need to have some small saturation also. Okay, that's for the saturation and for the beat crusher. Now I'm going to use some reverb on it, and for the heads I like to use the Melda Charm Verb. The nice thing with Melda is normally you should calculate the length of your reverb, but with Melda it does it automatically, so the head is on 1/4. So if I click 1/4 or 1/4T, 1/4D, I get automatically the good length, and then I only have to play with my dry wet, and then always also EQ your reverb. So I will play with the frequency. So let's see what it gives with the reverb on it. That's nice. Now let's hear what it gives when we put it on mono. So we'll also narrow down a little bit my hi-hats, because there's a big difference between the mono and the stereo. In the mono they go way back in the rear, so I need them more in the front. I will put them a little bit smaller here. That's better, and then I'm gonna pan them a little bit to the left, just a little bit. If I solo it, you can see the panning here. It's a little bit to the left. So I think that's okay. So let's take a part where our open hi-hat comes together, and it's this part also, I think. So let's hear it. Yes. Here also, and here you see there's a lot of activity in the lows also, so I will cut this a little bit down here with the EQ IQ. So I think I'm gonna have to narrow the hi-hat also down, but what I can do is put them in mono. And then add a return track or in a bus and put the reverb in the return track so that it stays the same in mono and in stereo. So I put here a charm verb also. The length I will take 1/4 T, dry wet all the way open because it's in a return track. And then I will also put a compressor on it. Normally I don't use compressor only for sidechaining, so that's what I'm going to do now. Open hi-hat, and I'm going to sidechain the reverb so that when the hi-hat comes in, it clearly separates the reverb from the hi-hat again. Now you can hear that when you put it in mono, there is a big, there is not a big difference between the mono and the stereo, and the hi-hat still stays in the front. So that's really important. I also need my crunch here. So I'm gonna try to put a bit crusher on it also. Okay, when I look at my tonal balance, it's okay for the hi-hat, but when I look at my stereo, at my spectrum analyzer, I see that the highs are a little bit on the low side. You see it here? If I compare it with the kick, it could come at the same height volume as the kick, so I should put them a little bit louder, or maybe I need to do some EQ, because I didn't do some EQ also on the closed hi-hat, and that's what I'm going to do now together with the open hi-hat. I'm gonna open it a little bit, about 1.5 dB for the closed hi-hat. Okay, and on the open hi-hat I still need to process them a little bit before I'm going to EQ it, and I will also put a saturator on it. And here I'm going to do also heavy saturation. So I'm also going to use the imager to pan it. So that's the S1 imager. just a little bit like this. And look at the tonal balance. Tonal balance looks pretty good. So you see, when you add some instruments, it has an impact almost everywhere in the spectrum. And that is why EQ is also important, so that you can cut off the frequencies that are not needed in a specific instrument. Like for this hi-hat, all the low end, I don't need the low end. It's gonna bring some more mud for the other instruments, so I'm gonna cut it down also. I'm gonna try to open these hi-hats also at 12,000. Just a little bit, maybe 1 dB. One and a half dB. Okay, that looks good. Maybe I will try to do some delay also in a bus track. And the same thing with the delay, also a compressor to separate the delay from the hi-hat. It's the open hi-hats, the first one, because there are two open hi-hats. And my delay also, I will start to the delay only at here at 5,000 and here at 7,000, and I close it at 16,500, something like that, 17,000. Okay, let's see what that gives. So I'm going to put it down and then I'm going to bring it in slowly until I'm satisfied with the amount of delay that's coming in for these hi-hats. And automatically the delay is like a kind of auto pan. You can see it when you solo the delay only. You see it goes left, right, left, right. You see. Now I think my open hi-hat is a little bit too loud, so I'm going to put a little bit down. But during the mix I will continuously playing with the volumes until everything matches really nice. So now there is a second open hi-hat. Let's take a look where this is. I think it's here somewhere. Here it is. This run is already crunchy, so let's hear what it gives when I put it in mono. Sounds good. Let's see if there is some peaks that I need to take care of. I don't need to take some peaks off here, so I will delete this one. What you can see at this one is that's really that there is a lot of stereo, so I will have to narrow it a little bit down because otherwise it's gonna disappear too much in mono. And here, if I narrow it down with the imager, you will see that it will lose his punchiness. So what I need to do, I will need to do that with a linear EQ. So first I'm going to show you with this one. You see, it loses its punch. So I'm gonna delete that one. And then I'm gonna use a linear EQ. So linear EQ. And I'm gonna use it only on the sides. And there I will put some side signal down where there's too much, like here. But so it keeps its crunchiness. Now this one also. You see, now it keeps the crunchiness, but it's still better mono compatible. So let's hear it in mono. Where is my gain? Yeah, that's much better. And I like the sound of this one, so I'm not going to add some extra instruments. I think I'm just or some extra effects. I'm just going to do some EQ. Okay, I think that's enough. That sounds great. Now I penned the open hi-hat on the right, this closed hi-hat on the left. What I could do with this one is try to put an auto pan on it just to see if it sounds better, but maybe it's not necessary. So when you use something like an auto pan on the hi-hats, do it like this, that it goes one side together, not gradually from one to the other side. Okay, that makes it a little bit more wider, a little bit more stereo. So let's listen let's see what it does when we got the ozone imager and we solo it. You see it goes left, right, together with the other ones. So that's a nice stereo image. You can see here it goes up and down, but it's not too much so that it's still mono compatible. After the hi-hats we have the ride. So let's listen to the ride together with the hi-hats, because like I said in the beginning, it's better to mix everything together so you can match the frequencies, you can match the volumes better. Now when you look at the tonal balance, you will see that it's just, there are a lot of highs, so we will need to deal with that a little bit later, because it's still in the range, but it don't have to be more than that, because it's not in balance anymore after that. See here. Okay, so I think the ride is sounding nice. I did a little cut here. Now I'm gonna put just a regular EQ also to separate all the regions that not needed for this ride. I'm gonna try to put some dynamic EQ here. See if this has an impact here on the tonal balance. But when I look at my spectrum, I think it's okay. You see, it has an impact. It has an impact here. So maybe I should put a little dynamic EQ also on the open hi-hat. I think the second one, because the second one has a much higher frequency range than the first open hi-hat. So let's try that. I think it sounds better, and you see also in the tonal balance that it has an impact. If I'm gonna put them all both down, and then you will see here that the line is almost crossing the border, and if I put it on again, it will be stabilized. See, it's better, and when we are going to do the master, we are going to open the highs again, but then they are all together, and if it's too much here and I open it, it's better to open it in the mastering than to cut it down. So it's better to cut it down here and open it in the mastering. I hope you understand what I mean. So maybe I can try to do the same thing with this hi-hat. See if this has an impact also, because here I opened it already, but at around 8,000 I could put a small dynamic cut. Yeah, I think it's okay. And when you see here, when you look at the spectrum, now when it was flat here, in comparison with the kick, now it's a little bit more like a smile, you know. You see here. Okay, I'm happy with the frequencies. Now let's see where we're going to put our right. Now we did the panning with the imager. For the right, I'm going to do another kind of panning. I'm going to do a stereo pan. And let's think we put it this one on the left, this one on the right, this one an auto pan. So I think we're going to put the right on the left side also, but not together with the closed hi-hat, just a little bit more or a little bit less pan. So let's solo them together. And let's take a look. Okay, that sounds good. And then let's see here. You see that's the left, that's the right side. Yeah, the balance looks good for both, so I'm gonna leave it like this. Okay, now let's listen last time in mono. Everything is still there, nothing disappears, so that's perfect. So the next one is our percussion. Here is the percussion. Where is the percussion? Together with most of the drums, I think it's here. So I think this one I'm going to put in mono. Yeah, it takes part of the rhythm. That's great. So it's better to have it in mono, to have it in the center. You see there is a peak here, but it's not really a peak, and when you look at the spectrum here, it's not disturbing, so I'm not going to use this one. I'm going to use a regular EQ to EQ it a little bit later, after I do something maybe with reverb, small reverb on it. Let's try a small reverb. I'm going to EQ a little bit the highs here. Here also put a low cut at about 50th, yeah, something like 50. Maybe around 250, a small cut of 1 dB, just a small EQ. And the other thing that I will do, I will also use a panner, so I will pan it here, but I will do the regular panning. And when you use the regular panning, basically the thing you do is you put one side louder than the other. So I will put it a little bit on the right. So when I solo it, you can see that also. You see it here. Let's hear until where I can hear my percussion. Okay, that's nice. Now we're almost done with the drums. There's only the claps, the reverb clap and the snare to mix. But I see again we are about 30 minutes and I need to take a break. So that's again the opportunity to close this episode. I hope to see you in the next one, where I will mix the plug, the texture, the effects and the vocals. And I thank you for watching, and if you want to have more tutorials like this, just tell me in the comments or subscribe my channel. Thank you and bye bye.